Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2012 model year limited edition, as you can see from Hublot, 500 pieces in magic gold. This is the origin of the Big Bang Ferrari. Now, technically, it's a Big Bang Unico in Ferrari guise, but with magic gold, 1,000 Vickers. It is 18 karat gold that looks like bronze and has the scratch resistance of ceramic. So let's start with the dimensions first, because fit comes first. 45.5 millimeters, it's a big watch. 16.9 millimeters thick, it's 57.3 lug-to-lug. We're going to throw this watch on my wrist now so you can get a better sense of its size. There's no mistaking this watch. It is both Ferrari in name and Ferrari in spirit. If you like the extroverted cars from Maranello, this watch from Neon will be right up your alley. I can wear it on my wrist. It works just fine in an oversized paradigm. So if you like the oversized look, it's going to fit fine. 16 centimeters circumference, wrist and up. No, it's probably not going to fit underneath a tight dress cuff, but you should be okay with a jacket sleeve. Taking a look at the strap, I think the idea here is to reproduce the style and stitching of the leather you would find in a Ferrari road car. You've got Hublot's rubber strap on the bottom, this lovely stitched soft black leather with a monotone stitch on the top, and then a automotive-inspired belt buckle system where you simply press the trigger and it releases the strap. So this is nice to have because you can dress it up, dress it down, and if you want to put it on a fully water-resistant strap, this is a 100-meter watch, so you can go swimming with it. Taking a look at the titanium chassis of the clasp, you can see you've got the Hublot H pattern on the inside. This is all black titanium, and so you can see on the top carbon fiber automotive style, titanium on the inside, very lightweight materials consistent with a sports car or a racing car. It's a twin trigger release, so you have to press both for it to pop open, so you have a high degree of security. And as you can see, all the excess length tucks under the clasp, so you don't need strap minders outboard. That prevents the strap from aging prematurely. Looking in profile, we have a combination of resin and carbon fiber inserts in the profile, but the highlight here is the magic gold. Now this starts as 24 karat gold and a ceramic matrix that's machined into roughly the shape of the bezel and the case back and the top case. It's then infused at very high pressure with inert gas so that the 24 karat gold will infuse into the ceramic matrix, and then those two things in combination are a hallmarkable 18 karat gold. And I am told, yes, the gold can be separated out if you really wish to do so. It's not lost gold, so it's still 18 karat gold. It's just a very different quality, being 1,000 Vickers hard. It's basically as scratch resistant as ceramic itself. And there's also a tonal difference here with a media blast texture. It's an anti-glare, almost anti-glam look. If you want the blingest gold, this isn't it. It almost has the aesthetic of slightly aged bronze, which actually raises it in my esteem. Not that it isn't an extroverted piece, just that it's not intuitively gold. It's an interesting, exclusive look that you're only going to find with magic gold. Taking a look at some of the profile elements, you can see we've got blackened H-pattern Hublot bolts, both on the top case as well as on the bezel. We have a unique crown in that it is a 1/4 turn lock, and you can see the little reference mark that's used to line it up, lock it, and unlock it. Lock it, 100 meters water resistant. Unlock it, now you can adjust the different displays. It does have a hacking seconds function, so you can set it to a reference time down to the second, but it also has a quick set. And if you look carefully, you can see there is actually a skeletonized date disc here. In terms of the Unico's capability as a chronograph, it's got quite a few of them, and they're fascinating. This was an Hublot in-house caliber, and although it debuted on the King Powers, it's lived a long life on the Classic Fusion and the Big Bang. So now we've got a double level lateral clutch, which you can see on the dial side along with the column wheel. The interesting thing about the Unico has always been that it's inside out, with a lot of the most visually appealing elements of the chronograph on the dial side, so you can enjoy your movement without taking the watch off the wrist. It's all grayscale with a overlapping sapphire disc above the movement components to give you a more transparent, visible machine on the dial side, but also the technical aesthetic you expect of a machine. One exception is over at 9 o'clock, where we've got the Cavallino Rampante, the Ferrari symbol, the rampant horse, that was actually a symbol of the Scuderia decades before Enzo started his own car company. He was the official race campaigner for Alfa Romeo, and that horse was the symbol of his racing team. You've got a 60-minute chrono register, which I like because most chronos have a 30-minute register. I find 60 a lot more intuitive and useful. And then it's also got flyback chronograph capability, so you can restart without first stopping, restarting, and resetting. It is a single touch reset and restart for events happening in rapid succession, such as, for example, cars lapping a track. Now, you can also see that there's a little bit of lume, but not much. The black variant of Superluminova doesn't give you a lot of detail in the dark, nor does it give you a lot of sustain, but it looks the business when it's light. Now, we've got gold, hands, indices, and numerals, and you can see a remarkably dished dial, and outboard the chronograph fractions of seconds as well as minutes. We're going to turn all this over, take a look at the Unico on the back. Now, this is the 1241 version of the Unico. You can see we've got this case back aesthetic, a little bit like the bolted wheels of a Ferrari road car and then the spokes of a Ferrari road rim. It's an automatic winder. It's got ceramic bearings for high efficiency, 4 hertz beat rate. This one is a 38 joule. It's got the silicone escapement for limited friction, limited lubrication, limited inertia in the drivetrain. You can see it's got a full balance bridge for shock resistance, and the column wheel and the lateral clutch are on the dial side. Lots to love here, although it's more lovable from a technical standpoint than an aesthetic one. All the action really is on the dial side. Now, you're probably wondering what this is all about on the case back, where it says gold. Sure, you expect that, but then also titanium? Well, what that means is that the inner case, the one that's actually the vessel bearing the dial and the movement, the one that provides the 100-meter water resistance, that's actually inside all of this, and that canister is made of titanium. That's why it says titanium on the back. It's not actually what the case externally is made of. Again, a 72-hour power reserve. It's got a 3-day reserve that's laudable, and as a chronograph, it has excellent column wheel feel, so you're going to find it's quite pleasurable from a tactile standpoint. Looking in profile, you can see we've actually got ceramic elements for the pushers and then Ferrari branding on the reset trigger. So if you are a fan of the cars from Maranello and you like a watch to match, this could be right for your wrist. And if it is, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.